Ladies and gentlemen, street talk and other stuff. And let me tell you, there is no more snow. It's gone. It's gone. Thank you, God. Spring is here. It's great. I love it. I did my favorite job of the year over the weekend. I unplugged and disconnected the heat tape to my gutters. That's the worst job in the winter. It's my favorite job in the spring. It's great. Love it. Nice to have you here this Monday morning, okay? Hey, look, I got a good show for you today, but just a couple things beforehand. You know, there was a blonde gal who once bought an AM radio, and it wasn't until 2 months later she realized she could listen to it at night. And then there was this DJ, this radio DJ one day, and he decides to have a contest. He tells his callers, if you can call and you give me a word that I've never heard of and can't find in the dictionary, you know, you'll win a prize, okay? So a couple people called that, you know, they had words that the disc jockey was able to find. And finally a guy called up and he said, here's a word for you, go on. And the DJ said, well, how do you spell it? And he goes, G-A-O-N. So he looked at the dictionary and he couldn't find it. He says, well, okay, well, now you have to use it in a sentence. So the caller said, go on, drop dead. So the DJ hung up on him, said, I'm sorry, that guy's disqualified. He's disqualified. But we're looking for another word now that I've never heard of. So a couple other callers called. Then a guy kind of called back and said, I got a word for you, smee. And disc jockey said, never heard of that. So he looks in the dictionary, he can't find it. He says, okay, I can't find that word. Use it in a sentence. The guy said, smee again. Go on, kill yourself. Great, I'm about to have a heart attack. Hey, but hey, street talk and other stuff. Mike, Maddog, Magnotti, I got a really good guest today. So you stick around, folks. We will be right back.
Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house, fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Are you suffering with joint pain? Need orthopedic care sooner than later? For an orthopedic evaluation, there's no reason to wait weeks or months. You can get the help you need now from the experts at Lake Chelan Community Hospital, led by John Hopkins-trained Dr. Joshua Shohowski. Their orthopedic team specializes in sports medicine, knees, shoulders, and general orthopedics. When considering joint replacement, you should know all your options. Call or visit Lake Chelan Community Hospital today.
For the first time in history, the world's greatest magicians come together live on stage. The Illusionists. This high-tech magic spectacular has shattered box office records and dazzled audiences of all ages across the globe. See them before they disappear. The Illusionists, live from Broadway.
The YWCA Thrift Store, our mission is to make positive change in the community by giving women and families the tools they need to regain economic stability through work experience and education. Featuring generously donated new and gently used furniture, housewares, clothing, and much more, the YWCA Thrift Store has something for the whole family. Shop, volunteer, or donate with us today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and I'm really proud to say that my guest today is Mr. Michael Knight from KPQ.
Maddog,
thanks for being here.
It's a fabulous Jersey experience to see you today.
Well, it's good to have you.
Oh, it's nice to be had.
You know, listen to you on my way to work, okay?
What time do you get in the car?
Well, it depends. If I've got an 8 o'clock, it's usually sometime after 7.
Yeah, we're usually awake by then.
And sometimes...
But no guarantees.
Yeah, sometimes I have a 7, so I'm maybe even there before that. But I think I catch your Who's in the News just about every day.
Who was it today?
I don't know, because I wasn't...
Jay Sekulow.
Okay. Well, Monday I don't go to work. I come down here first.
Oh, this is not work.
No, this isn't.
This is a public service.
No, yeah, this is fun, you know.
Seems like work. This is what I do for
Should they
work.
be paying me?
They should be paying both of us. So there's an idea.
No, but it's good to have you. But I listen to, I don't always have clients at noon, very occasionally.
Right.
But so I'll eat my lunch and listen to the agenda, so.
There you go.
Matter of fact, I called you a while back.
You called about radio one
Yeah,
day.
right.
Because you grew up listening to the greats of WABC,
Exactly.
WPGAL, WNEW.
No, actually, just WABC and WNEW were the
Okay.
only stations back there I would
Okay.
listen to, So, hey, tell us a little bit about yourself, you know? This is the man behind the microphone, folks.
I think you'll find me singularly uninteresting.
Well, try anyway. Make
Okay.
something up then.
Oh.
You know?
I was born as a test tube baby
Really cool.
in Montevideo, Uruguay. Raised by well, they said they were wolves, but I think they were just those large rodents that live on the pampas. And I hitchhiked my way to San Francisco just in time for Bill Graham's denouement at the Fillmore, and spent the rest of my time watching Fillmore bands.
Okay, and you caught Janis Joplin out there. of
I
course,
did.
Yeah.
I did. I saw Janis many times live. Saw the Airplane live, Grateful Dead live.
Cool.
My favorite was Moby Grape.
Moby Grape. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I haven't thought about them in years.
So I grew up in the Bay Area, and then I went to school back east, in the southeast, Florida, and then spent a couple of years in New York.
What was your major? What'd you study in college?
Dramatic arts and radio television.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you ever do any acting? 'Cause
A lot of acting.
I'm just, you know.
I was best actor every year at the University of Miami.
Really? Oh,
yeah,
cool.
we would get a silver bucket
Yeah.
at the end of the year when our drama, the honorary drama students would meet for dinner once a year.
Right.
My roommate Stanley Sensimir was given the award for best male actor in a continuing role.
Okay.
Because that was his
He just-
thing.
He just was the same guy.
Across
in every
campus
part?
in the car at lunch, asleep. He was always, whoa. Stanley Sensimir.
All right. So what parts did you play?
I played Joseph Kay in The Trial.
Okay.
I played the lead in Arthur Miller's play After the Fall.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar with that one. Some other Miller stuff. But
Well, he's the one he wrote about Marilyn Monroe, trying to get her out of his system.
okay. All right.
A number of plays by Harold Pinter and Eugene Ionesco. I was a big
What'd
fan
you-
of the theater of the absurd.
What'd you do from Pinter? I was in
The Lover.
I was in the birthday
The
party.
Dumbwaiter. I didn't do the birthday party. I wasn't in that one.
And recently a local group called Full Circle Theater did the Dumbwaiter.
I know, they did a really good job,
They
too.
did
I
a
saw
great
that
job.
show.
Yeah, did a
Really
great
good job.
Cool.
Because it's well, as you know, Harold Pinter's biggest challenge for the actor is the pause.
Right.
Because it's written virtually within every speech.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
And so he was asked, why do you do this? He said, it's just a pause.
Exactly.
And when you put it that way, it takes all the mystery out of it.
Sure.
Yeah. Did you do acting?
Oh yeah, I have some reputation as an amateur actor here.
Thank God I have no reputation here in Wenatchee. It'll get here sooner or later.
You should develop one.
Yeah, well, I'm working on. Well, you know, I talk to the great and the near great every day. So my honorable position is to let them make a name for themselves, and I'm just the guy who asks the questions. It works out better that way. If I'm the host and you're the guest.
Yeah. So you've been with KPQ how long now? Almost
2 years, 2.5 years.
Okay. And how
something
you
like
liking
that.
it?
They give me a lot of freedom, so I'm very grateful for that.
So how do you get your guests?
I call them. Booking's the hardest part.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, you do it yourself too, right?
Well, yeah, but me, I've only got one a week, you know, and I try to keep.
I have one a day.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So sometimes it's like pulling teeth. Sometimes they don't show up. So you know what that's like?
Or they come late. Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah.
So, no, I
But
have.
for the most part, they're honorable and on time.
Well, sure. I think most people want to be on, you know, want to have a little exposure. So I had Dino Rossi once years and years ago when I did my talk show on KPQ. He was the only one who was ever late.
Oh, I talked to him during his races last time, and he was always on time.
Yeah, okay. Okay. But you know what I liked about doing call-in radio was when somebody would call and be rude, I would just have the engineer hang up on them. You know, because I didn't want to have that kind of show. I mean, you could ask my guests legitimate questions, but you had to be polite and you had to treat them with respect, because I didn't want anybody feeling like they were facing Mike Douglas from, 60 Minutes, where you just bore in and embarrass the person and make them look bad. I didn't want anybody to go through that. So if I had a rude caller, I'd hang up on them,
What I like is when the phone rings and we think it's a question for the guest, but it turns out to be someone who's saying, "Is Gonzaga playing today?" I don't know.
Right. Or did you hear about the accident?
That'll be Thursday, sir.
too?
Yeah.
So,
What's going on out there? We see lights.
yeah.
Those are just cars going by, sir.
Okay, so you've been in radio most of your adult life?
Long enough.
Okay. What made you decide to get into it? What were you thinking?
Well, when I got into it, the radio's system of formats was completely different.
Okay.
Talk radio had just begun.
Right.
But the major format everywhere was FM freeform music, WNEW, well, let's see, in the WABX in Detroit,
Okay.
KSAN in San Francisco, KMET in Los Angeles. Every market had one of those stations. For Seattle, it was probably KZOK, KK, let's see, KISW, and there was another one in there, Gary Crow was there, my pal. I can't remember which one it was.
Okay, right.
Anyway, that format's no longer with us, but that's what got me in. I was a musicologist.
Oh, really?
And
Okay.
I knew I could put together great sets.
Okay, so what was your first gig as a...
I was a morning man and music director at KTIM, which is in the Bay Area.
Okay,
Then I left there and went to KKSN Portland.
okay,
Then KZOK Seattle.
okay.
Then KRQR San
Now,
Francisco.
what kind of shows did you do?
Always a music show and usually music director.
Okay, what type of music?
Well, it was what was called rock and roll, AOR, or
What was called
album
called
oriented.
rock and roll?
Well, no, it was still rock and roll, but it was more simply defined as album-oriented rock.
Ah, okay. All
So
right.
we would play Jethro Tull and Traffic and the Beatles, but we wouldn't play the pop songs of the day.
Ah, all right.
That was left to top 40 radio.
Okay. And how much verbal interaction did you have? Did you talk
We usually
about the
talk every
songs, or-
3 songs.
Okay, all right. Now, do you miss that, doing that type of radio?
I miss that a great deal. I think that the content of the music right now is ripe for another format.
Yeah.
But you'd have to. Freeform radio only lasted 3 or 4 years, so if you were going to make it freeform now, given the parameters of the original format, you'd have to include everything from the mid-'60s to date. And there's
Sure.
still bands making rock and roll, so
Yeah.
that would be worthy.
Yeah, that would be.
A very worthy project.
Okay, so how did, and I know this isn't something that I put on, I always give my guests, here, this may be what we're gonna talk
I
about.
got nothing. I got a cup. What's that?
I sent you this.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, okay, all right. I did so,
Okay,
Michael.
maybe you sent it. I never saw it.
Oh, jeez, all right, okay. Wow,
Well, these martinis, by the way, are professional.
Aren't they great? Wow.
Jeez.
that's one thing, even my enemies will agree, I'm a good bartender. All right, so how did talk radio become so big as it is now? I mean, it just exploded a while back. And what was the metamorphosis that?
I first heard it at a KGO San Francisco.
Okay.
And KABC Los Angeles and KFI Los Angeles and places like that.
Okay.
And when it first broke through, like all new formats, it was considered to be so flimsy of a format that there was no way you could sustain it.
Yeah.
But you could talk about anything.
Right. Was that Ray Taliaferro from KGO you're
Ray
talking about?
Taliaferro, Owen Spann.
Okay.
You remember him?
Well, I used to listen to
Jim somebody.
Okay, but I used to listen to KGO when I worked graveyard shift.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you could pull it in, and that
It
was
would come up
always,
the coast all the way.
yeah, it was always Ray Taliaferro.
Yeah, he's the all-night guy.
Oh gosh, and people would think that Russ Limbaugh was angry and bitter. I mean,
I mean, he is angry and bitter.
oh gosh, yeah, he is, but Ray was worse.
Oh, well, someone had to show the way.
But of course, he's in the middle of the night.
Well, there were guys like Joe Pine, if you remember that name.
Yeah, I do.
Who started being the angry guy who just hung up on everybody.
Yeah.
Now, they wouldn't talk necessarily about politics. They could have a general theme going on,
Right.
whatever the case may be. But his opposition to it was always the same. He hated it, and if you called in to support it, he hated you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a pretty good gambit. He sold that for a long time.
Yeah.
But now well, obviously now what's happened is the meat of talk radio is about politics.
Sure, yeah.
And the great thing about that is it's like sports radio. Every day you wake up, well, there it is.
Yeah, there's something new.
There's your
Right.
show.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about it. Your talking points, if you're with the president, your talking points are his. If you're opposite the president, your talking points are that.
Right,
And
right.
so it's just like the score. Did Gonzaga win? Yes. There's your show. Did Washington lose? Yes. There's the second half of your show. Now you've got, that's as easy as can be. The great thing about sports radio is something new happens every day. The great
Right.
thing about talk radio is you can make it seem like something new happened every day.
Yeah, that is true. I listen to stuff sometimes, I say, this is really news, Not really.
Today it is.
Yeah,
Today it's
okay,
news.
all right.
And if that's news, then that's news.
Okay, but you would like to go back to the free form. Is there any possibility you might be able to get back into that someday, or?
It's going to take It's funny how people that have radio station groups own 5 stations, 6 stations, 7 stations, but on none of those stations are they taking a chance with a new format that they've concocted themselves.
Really?
That's the monkey see, monkey do attitude in modern media.
Yeah, interesting.
So it's going to take someone who owns a station and at the same time has an adventurous spirit and good taste. That wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, it would. Okay. Hey, I'm talking with Mr. Michael Knight. He is one of the, what is your exact title? Are you news director at KPQ?
Let's just say radio personality.
A radio personality at KPQ. He does the morning show and then he does.
It's a bit of an exaggeration, but who's going to see this?
That's right. Like I said,
what I
nobody
mean.
watches this show. You know what happens?
I'm vice president. Yeah. Of operations.
My faithful guest. I get home and you know what my wife says to me? She says, "Oh, I forgot to watch you today."
Who was that guy you had on? I didn't see
What
it.
else are you doing?
What are you doing?
But hey, street talk and other stuff. Mike Maddog, Magnotti.
I like the way he says doing.
I'm talking with Michael Knight. He is a radio personality from KPQ right here in our own little community, but we're going to be talking more with him in a minute, but we got to take a
You
break.
just figured that one out.
This is my show.
I know. You can come on my show and be an idiot.
Okay, I will do that.
Good job.
We'll be right back. Okay.
This is Kerry Condata from the 12th District. We are going in session with direct reports from your legislators in Olympia. We'll get the straight story every week. We'll add the national, state, and local news and have it all wrapped up for you right here on the 12th District. Check it out.
When it comes to real estate, our professional real estate agents come alongside you to help navigate the process of buying or selling a home. At August Edge, we want to free you from the hassles of buying and selling processes and complexities. At August Edge Real Estate, our professional, dedicated brokers will help you with all the complexities of buying and selling real estate, from start to finish. We've got the edge on real estate. August Edge Real Estate.
Attention, attention, Wenatchee Valley. Collins BOGO sale is here. Yahoo! It's our annual buy one red tag sale clothing item and get one free. That's right. Buy one, get one free on all our red tag clothing items. We have vests, sweaters, jackets, tees, blouses, dresses, leggings, slacks, jeans, pajamas, etc., etc. Wonderful quality at fantastic prices. Come in and see our new spring goodies, too. All at Collins BOGO sale, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Hey everyone, did you know that the NCWLIFE channel is North Central Washington's go-to source for news? No matter how you prefer to view your news, NCWLIFE has you covered. Watch the evening news weeknights on TV, stream it, read it at ncwlife.com, or catch the latest news by following us on Facebook. Stay informed with local news, sports, weather, and shows featuring local people and events. NCWLIFE, a reflection and a spotlight of the communities we call home.
Okay, we're back. Street Talk and Other Stuff. Talking with Mr. Michael Knight, radio personality, right here on our own KPQ, local radio station.
Where you used to be a radio
I did. I
personality.
was there for a while, yeah.
Were the chairs all broken in the main studio when you were there?
No.
Well, they are now.
Okay, well, that was, I haven't been there for
Just want you to know, when you come to do my show, you'll be sitting on one of those.
Really? Okay.
Okay.
All right. What are the broken chairs?
I'm sorry. That's the scene we provide.
I can do that.
You can.
Any Friday, let me know.
All right.
I don't go to the office on Friday, but hey, you've been radio how long? How long you been in radio?
Long enough to know better.
Okay.
That's for sure.
So, you mentioned when we were off camera that you've always done interviews.
Always, even when I was in college radio.
All right, go ahead.
It was a show called Backstage. My college radio station was KCSM in the Bay Area, and my first show was Woody Allen.
Really? You
Yep.
interviewed Woody, huh? Okay.
Second show was Richie Havens.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Third show was Brenda Lee. Matt Monroe, remember him? He had Born Free. Was his,
that's
was his
right.
hit.
Yeah, I
It was
do.
his only hit, but he came over. He played the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco, and I interviewed him. Jerry Vale, the Italian songster.
Yeah.
God, who I could. Oh, Spanky and our gang, the whole troop.
Remember the whole gang came in?
You remember the son of Harrison was a guy named Noel Harrison. He had a couple hits. He looked just like his father, but he sang in sort of a whisper. He had a couple of weak hits. But anyway, he was on tour. I didn't get Bill Cosby, but I was in line for that one. When he was a young guy, still doing his first album.
Oh, he was our hero back then.
Oh, he was quite a guy.
I mean, we all had all his albums. I mean,
He went down the rabbit hole, and there's nothing we can do about that.
I know it, you know.
Many people have. So anyway, over the years, I've had a lot of interviews. one of my most difficult one was not his fault. He was just an eccentric, and he would answer, but never answer the question.
Yeah.
He would respond.
He was a politician?
No, Captain Beefheart. Captain Beef, Don Van Flay was his name.
yeah.
Captain Beefheart of the Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band.
I do remember that.
Yeah. What, friend of Frank Zappa's?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was out of my depth.
So it just was his brain fried, or was he just?
No, you would ask him a question and he would say, I love the color of that balloon. And there was a balloon there, but we were not discussing it, and no one could see it but us. So that's the panic of radio is when we start talking about something that the audience can't see.
So what was the most interesting thing you found out about famous people in general, or just, you know, I mean, was there any one thing that stuck out?
Something stuck in my brain. I don't know if this makes sense to you, but I was interviewing Ken Kesey.
Right.
And I asked him what was his political stance. What did he feel about politics? Was he involved? Did he let it go? What did he think? And he said, we've been through so much politically that I just keep it simple. If you are hurting someone, I'm against you.
Okay.
If you're helping someone, I'm for it.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
So that was a pretty good an element of judgment that we can all use in our lives as to what you want to buy or what you don't want to buy.
I like that. Okay. Okay, who else? Who else you run into? Who's the most interesting person, if you've can remember?
Well, I have done a lot of politicians here and in California.
Yeah.
Did the mayor of LA, several mayors, the governor a couple times. I've had Inslee on twice. So we've been able to get some of the bigger names in town, or in the state, that is. Not everything is relegated to just what's going on in Wenatchee, but that is, for the most part, the focus of the show.
Okay.
And I think that keeps it successful. My job is to keep it light, if I can.
Yeah.
And if it's a very serious subject, then of course I'm not going to take it in that direction. But otherwise, I think it's better to ask sports people about politics and politicians about sports to get them away from their standard answer.
Right. Good. Actually, good point. Good. Very good point. Yeah.
So, for instance, if we were having a hard time getting started, I'd say, where were you born?
Montclair, New Jersey, St. Vincent's Hospital.
You're 9 years old, you're playing with your best friends, it's summertime. What are you doing?
Playing softball at the Kiwanis Oval, Colwyn, New Jersey.
With who?
Well, my brother Bruce, and I can't remember the names of the other guys, but that's where I learned to play softball.
What position?
At the Kiwanis Oval. I started playing second base, okay? But then when I was in Cub Scout softball, I transferred over to first base because the coach put a guy there who
couldn't catch the ball.
Wouldn't have stopped anybody, okay? So I just said, hey, I'll play first. I ended up being a pretty good first baseman, so.
So that's the kind of questions I use to loosen somebody up and to get them talking about something that's not right in their wheelhouse in terms of the stock answer that they've given to a lot of different people.
Okay, cool.
It helps.
Yeah, it does.
It also lightens the mood, and it gives me a reputation as being someone who's going to ask you something perhaps that you don't want to answer, but it's not because it's embarrassing, it's just that you're not prepared for it.
You weren't thinking in that area.
There you go.
Oh, that's good. That's a good technique. I'll think of that. So, where'd you play baseball?
Where did I play baseball?
Yeah.
I played a lot of baseball. My grandfather, Grover Cleveland Kitty Knight, was a professional.
Oh.
Yeah, he played for the Reds, played for the Phillies, and his last gig was with the Oakland Oaks of the Pacific Coast League.
All right.
So we had a lot of baseball in our family.
Okay.
My father played semi-pro baseball all up until the time he was drafted. His birthday was Pearl Harbor Day, so you can guess what he was doing on his birthday. He was playing ball.
Yeah.
And in those days, they had semi-pro teams that got paid. So he would be paid.
Okay.
And then, of course, he was in the Navy. He didn't get paid anymore. So I played Little League like everybody else, where I was a catcher. And then finally, I realized that I belonged in the outfield because I was fast.
Okay.
And that's where I ended my career.
How was your arm?
Rotator cuff surgery 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
From a throw from center field, by the way, which I remember because it snapped, one of those. Anyway, I played winter league ball in Manhattan Beach for years.
Okay. But you had a relative named Grover Cleveland?
My grandfather, on my father's side, it was named Kitty Knight.
Okay.
But his true name was Grover Cleveland Knight.
Really? Why? Did they really like Grover Cleveland, his parents? Or?
They gave all the kids really highly structured names, but everybody got a nickname. So his brother's name was Cap, but that was not his name. My grandfather's name was Kitty. His sister's name was Dyed.
Okay.
They all had different names. There was 8 kids in the family.
All right, I just find that interesting. Grover Cleveland was born in Caldwell, New Jersey, the town I'm from.
Really?
Yeah. His house is still there, yeah. And his father used to pastor the First Presbyterian Church of Caldwell, which is still there. Actually, that church isn't there because the church Cleveland's dad pastor burned down, I think.
Well, it must have been something about his career because my great-great-grandfather, who gave him that name, was a captain in the Army. And
Okay.
I have a feeling that it was some sort of a political or patriotic offering. to
Okay,
his
well, he was
name.
just an interesting man. I just read a book on Grover Cleveland, so. Okay, who's the most interesting person, or the interview you like the best?
You might have asked me this during the spots.
All right, oh, sorry, I should have warmed you up. on that,
Let me think.
But because you've, talked to some cool people, so.
Oh, I had, remember Graham Chapman from the Monty Python?
Yes.
He was the one who always came in and says, that's a very naughty thing.
Right.
He was always the officer with the stick under his arm. Well, he was on my show in San Francisco, and I wanted it to be great. I wanted it to be fabulous. And he was just kind of being himself. He wasn't funny. He wasn't.
Really?
He wasn't outgoing. He wasn't rude. It just wasn't peaking.
Okay.
So we came back from the commercial, and instead of telling him what I was going to do, I just started talking like all the characters. And I asked him a question. I called him Mrs. Fidget. Mrs. Fidget, do you know what's going on? And he went right into the voice and stayed in character, and there was no stopping him. And it was I don't know what the hell he said,
cool.
but it was wonderful to break the ice in such a way. I said, well, if I maintain my own decorum, we're never going to get anywhere. I'm going to have to go more Monty Python to get through to this guy.
Yeah.
And that's what did it. That broke the ice.
Oh, cool. All right, you've lived in a lot of interesting
So we did the rest of the
places.
show in falsetto.
Cool.
Like you do.
How do you like, before we take our last break, how do you like Wenatchee? I mean, you've been in a lot of different places.
Where's that?
This wonderful community
this
in which
is
we
Wenatchee.
live. Yeah, this is Wenatchee.
I always call it Wenatchee, just to be sure that we're not in East Wenatchee. Well, what do you call it?
I call it Wenatchee.
Wenatchee.
I used to call it Wenatchee.
It's fine,
Moved out.
okay? It's
Okay,
fine.
all right.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. Okay.
No, it's wonderful. I'm having a good time here. I've been welcomed here.
It is a great town.
I have a lot of freedom here. I've met all the greats and the near greats, including you. In another life, we both would have met when you were a cop, and it would not have gone down so well. I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
Oh, that's all right. That's fine.
Yeah.
But hey, street talking other stuff. We're talking with Mr. Michael Knight. Very honored to have him here today. He is one of the voices at KPQ. I know you've heard his morning show, probably the Agenda show. We're going to take a quick break, come by and say goodbye to Michael. Thank him for being here. But hey, stick around. We'll be right back. So.
Show's over, it sounds like.
RLS Productions is proud to bring to the NCWLIFE channel the Concerts in the Gardens Summer Series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 1:30 and 7 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. and 9 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Gardens Summer Series, only on the NCWLIFE channel.
Moving doesn't have to be back-breaking, stressful work. And I don't want you to make a move that way ever again.
Traditionally, you would rent a truck. You would load up your stuff. You would rent a storage unit. You would transport it. And finally, you would unload your stuff yourself. You don't have to lift a finger. We bring the mobile storage unit to you, we drop it off, then one of our trusted packers can load it for you. We come pick it up and store it securely for you. We bring it back to you. No hassle, no stress.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, site coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
Hey, we're back. Street talking other stuff. And Michael, Mr. Michael Knight, thank you very much, sir.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
you being here. Michael does the morning news on KPQ. He also does the agenda at 12:15 every day. But hey, thanks for tuning in to Street Talking Other Stuff. Mike Maddog Magnotti. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
I don't have anything to throw. Can I throw this?
No.
No.